All right, so it looks like Canelo Alvarez was offered a 3-fight deal with PBC to possibly fight on Fox, maybe even Showtime, but right now we'll just say Fox. And that's to fight Caleb Plant. Now, that's the fight I definitely want to see. Canelo versus Caleb Plant. That's a really good fight. In addition to that, they do have the Charlo brothers, Earl Spence, and David Benavidez. So there's great fights out there that he can fight on the PBC. As far as sticking with the zone, the only fight that interests me is with Boo Boo Andre, and I don't really see that fight coming together. I know they reached out to Triple G, but man, I do not want to see another Triple G Canelo fight. Triple G has done nothing in his career but just mooch off of Canelo, and I don't want to see it again, ever. Um, I have zero interest in that fight. Now, they fight again. Will I watch it? Possibly, but it's not a fight I want to see. I'd rather see him fight Boo Boo Andre and then see what else is next for him after that. As far as not want to be tied to a contract, I get it. You know, you want to have that flexibility, but at the end of the day, the biggest fights Canelo can have, they all involve PBC, and there's really nothing really the zone can offer him except uh, fights like Euro, you know, kind of like BC level fighters where he could get a nice size check. So we'll see. I think I will hope that he signs the deal. These are fights I do want to see, but he doesn't want to sign a deal. That's fine too. Unfortunately, it looks like we'll probably miss out on that big fight between Caleb Plant and Canelo in the near future. But maybe we'll see what happens. Like at the end of the day, if they really want that fight to zone, then maybe they might have to sign. They're gonna have to really drop that bag for Caleb Plant. You know, give him 20 million. I know they were talking about 10, but at the end of the day, they might have to pump that offer up to 15 to 20. And what can PBC do when you say, hey, here's 15 to Caleb? I don't think Caleb will refuse an offer like that when it's that high. And that's a huge fight for the zone. I think Caleb is definitely worth the 15. Possibly, yeah, 15. I think 15 is a good number. Um, he's definitely way bigger in the U.S. versus all the other UK fighters that Canelo's been beating on. And I think at this point, people just feel like Canelo been UK bashing, has beaten up all their fighters and they're not any good. So we want to see Canelo against a top American fighter, a U.S. fighter, Caleb Plant, unified championship. They're really gonna have to come with a sweet offer if they're gonna try to get Caleb Plant to kind of break away from PBC. And I'm curious to see what they have to offer. You know, as far as this free agent talk, let's face it, he's not necessarily a free agent when you're still dealing with Eddie Hearn because at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn is basically exclusive to the zone. So you might not have a zone contract, but if you're still working with Eddie Hearn, you're basically a zone fighter where they might try to put you out there and say, we tried to get you to deal like Devin Haney. But let's face it, Devin Haney, Canelo, they're still by and large the zone fighters. As long as they're working with Eddie Hearn, they're the zone fighters. And as long as they're having Eddie Hearn negotiate their fights, they're the zone fighters. Maybe not by network deals, but we know that Eddie Hearn has a partnership, a deal with the zone. Same with PBC fighters. If you fight for Al Heyman, they might not have fights exclusively to Fox or Showtime, but we know those are Al Heyman networks. That's where they're going to fight. Same with Bob Arum and ESPN. We could play with words saying Devin Haney's a free agent, which he's still signed to Eddie Hearn. We can still say that with Canelo, but as long as these fighters are attached to a brand, they're going to fight on those platforms. The only person out there that's somewhat free that I can kind of see that's fighting anywhere, and that's really Clarissa Shields and Mikey Garcia. I know he's going to possibly fight again on the zone, but for the most part, he can kind of bounce around anywhere. He's really the definition of a free agent. He's not a Eddie Hearn fighter. He kind of fights for himself. And he's kind of treated that way. Like he's a good name, good value, and at the end of the day, is he going to get the biggest fights? He's only going to get the fights that people want to give him because he is a free agent. This is big business, big money, and no one wants to fork over 30, 40, $50 million and they have you run off and fight for another network immediately. They at least want to get some of the shine and have you get, a 2-fight deal, a 3-fight deal. Because at the end of the day, if PBC offers them a 1-fight deal on Fox, all that's going to do is raise Canelo's profile. He's going to take that back to the zone or the highest bidder. People want to kind of get a little bit more rub when it comes to these deals, when it comes to business. And unfortunately, this is prize fighting. It's all about the money. Now, whatever Canelo's going to do, he's going to do what's best for him. I'm not going to say if he should do it or he shouldn't do it. I would like to see him sign that 3-fight deal with the PBC. If he's not going to fight with PBC, then there's really not any fights I really want to see him outside of the PBC fighters first. Like I said, Boo Boo Andre is okay. Triple G, heck no. Arthur, but that guy is a beast as well. But I don't see Canelo fighting him, and that guy's just been so inactive for so long. He's fight like once a year. Like he's kind of like an underachiever in my book. They're just gonna really, at the end of the day, if the zone want to see some of those biggest fights with Canelo, they're gonna really have to drop that bag. Like I'm talking about $15 to $20 million to get some of these bigger fighters, and that's what if that's what they want to see. If not, I don't see Al Heyman letting his fighters go over there um, at all. It's basically different territories. That's how they fight. So we'll see, man. Hopefully they'll get the fight done. If they announce Triple G versus Canelo, I won't be surprised. I definitely don't want to see that at all. I have no interest in it. He's literally 2-0 against Triple G, and Triple G has done absolutely nothing since then except fight a bunch of scrubs. And even before he fought Canelo, he fought, in my opinion, no one really of relevance. So he ducked Ward, and he give him the credit. Okay, well maybe Ward was too big at that time, but no, I don't see it. I just don't see. I don't want to see that at all. So let's see what's gonna happen. Do you think Canelo should fight Triple G? Do you think you'd rather see him fight Caleb Plant? Leave your thoughts below. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, everybody, keep them hands up. Peace.